Hi everyone, it's Debbie again, coming to you from the amazing Jerry. What am I here for? I am here to answer a question which a lovely young lady sent to me the other day. Now, unfortunately, I am technologically impaired, so I can't physically green screen it and show the question. So she basically asked if I could explain what happens on the first couple of lessons, because she's got her first lessons coming up and she's quite anxious. So I will explain very quickly what I do with my learners. First things first, I will collect them from their collection address and I will drive them to, I have a couple of spots which I use, but in Southampton, I will take them to a really nice area of Chilworth where it's really quiet and quite big, so that there's not, you know, the feeling of feeling, I don't know, squished in amongst other people. That's where I will pull up and I will literally tell them to get out the car and we will do an eyesight check. So I'll get them to read a number plate, make sure that they can actually see what's going on, and you know make sure that they can legally read the required distance. After that, I will then ask to see their provisional license. Remember guys, always bring it with you on your lessons. It's not worth getting pulled over by the police and not having it on you at the time. It will be stressful enough, trust me. So yeah, once I've cleared all of that, I've also done previously what I call a license check. So I check their license for any nasties which they may not have shared with me. It does happen that learners come from other instructors and they have they've accumulated points on their provisional. I just want to know about that before they get in the car with me, so I will have checked that prior to the person getting into the vehicle. Then you're going to sit in the driver's seat and we're going to talk about the cockpit drill, which is basically very much like what a pilot would do before he takes off. You are going to make sure that the car is set up for you. And there are a few things which you need to remember with the cockpit drill. I'm not going to go into details because it's not a lesson, but things like doors, your seat belts, you know, your steering wheel, your seat, your mirrors, all of these things, they need to be perfect and set up for you and you alone. So we'll talk about how to complete your cockpit drill first of all. Then we move on to the controls in the vehicle, because everybody needs to know about the car that they're going to be learning to drive in. So I very much teach them everything there is to know about Jerry on the first lesson. I do make some exceptions. I mean, I know if it's not going to rain, or the likelihood of someone getting splashed by a puddle on the front windscreen, I won't mention the wipers until a later date, but we do generally talk about absolutely everything. So you have different controls in the car. We call them foot controls and hand controls. So everything that you would control with your feet and everything that you control with your hands. And we go through all of that really quite carefully, just to ensure that you understand everything. After the hand controls and the foot controls, we'll talk about the mirrors and the zones of vision. So the areas that you can see, what you can see, why you can see them, and we make sure that your mirrors are set up all for you as well. After that, I'd say it's pretty much on to the driving. The first lesson is a lot of talking, and I do pre-warn people when they get in the car with me. I do say, I'm really sorry, there is a lot of talking today, but you will get a chance to drive the car. That kind of puts them at ease. I personally have never done a first lesson without allowing a pupil to drive the car, but I have heard of instructors who don't actually let the pupils drive until a little later on. But yeah, the first hour is usually a lot of talking, and then we'll move on to the actual driving part. The first lessons with me consists of being able to move off and stop safely. So I need to know that you are able to move away from the pavement, so join the traffic, join the road safely, and then also at the same time I need to know that you can find somewhere safe, legal and convenient to pull up on the left when you are asked to do so. So again, you talk about all of that because it's much more difficult than just saying pull up on the left. There's more to it than that. And likewise, just driving out into the road, there's more to it than that as well. So again, a lot of talking about that, but once you start driving, that's it. There's no going back from that lesson. Generally, if somebody has really aced the moving off and stopping on the very first lesson, then we will move on to the emergency stop, which again I find really important to get nice and early in the lesson, because again, although it's not common, if you do need to emergency stop for whatever reason, then you, the driver, because you have control over the vehicle, not me, you are able to do that. I would say, speaking from experience, learners never do emergency stops, not until they're far more, you know, progressed in their education, but it's worth just dealing with it in the beginning. That way you can say, well, we did do this, you know, you have been taught, and it gives them a little bit more confidence as well. After the emergency stop, it's then straight on to junctions and roundabouts, and that's when it starts getting really nitty gritty. And for that, you do usually need to move out onto the road, which is why a lot of learner drivers in the early days, they don't have the best clutch control. They have a general understanding of how to get the vehicle moving. So please guys, if you have already passed your test and you're watching this video, be nice and patient with the learner in front of you. It could be their very first driving lesson, very first time on the road, and they are aware that, you know, they're a lot slower. They're very conscious of everybody around them, so just give them a little bit more time. That is basically what the first couple of lessons look like. And junctions and roundabouts are something that you never stop learning. You never stop evolving on them, because they're forever changing as well, and they're all very unique in their own way. So yeah, that's me and Jerry in a nutshell for our first couple of lessons. I do wish you all the best of luck on your driving lessons. If you've got a test booked, good luck. And that's it really, over and out. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.